So, what am I experimenting with? Recently, I've been going back into the world of nootropics. If you guys don't know what nootropics are, they're drugs, supplements, other substances that can improve your cognitive function, and they help with things like memory, creativity, motivation, and healthy individuals. So that's the Wikipedia definition. And by the way, I'm not recommending you guys to go into nootropics, but I wanted to kind of share my experience with them. I'll also break down the exact stack I'm taking with the dosages that I'm playing around with, because some of the doses were a little bit higher on the forums, and I adjusted it based off of my knowledge through pharmacy. So if you want to know those exact numbers, what I'm doing, keep on watching this video. This is actually my second or third day of taking them. The reason why I kind of dove into them was that I was running through really intense focus sessions during the day. And typically this is how my day is broke down. In the morning, typically I'm creating a lot of content. I'm using a lot of my creative brain for kick-ass investing and this show that I actually write out. I write out a whole email segment too. So if you go refugeehustle.com/join, you guys can get a text version of this as well with all the links of everything I mentioned. And usually the later half of my afternoon is based off fulfillment for my high ticket sales client. Yes, I still do high ticket sales. Pretty fun stuff, guys, and have gotten pretty good at it. I would say I'm not black belt level by far. I'm not an expert, but I can be dangerous sometimes. I essentially have my blue belt if you guys do jujitsu at all. Anyways, throughout the day, I'm going through a lot of different I'm going through lots of caffeine. I'm going through yoga poses. I meditate a lot. I work out and I fast just to keep my energy up. And sometimes I have really long days. Like I'll wake up at 6 a.m., work all the way till 10 a.m., take an hour break, then go back to work. And then at 2 o'clock, that's when I usually start my calls, do them all to 8, and then go back to sleep. That is pretty much my schedule. So you can imagine how long that can be. It can be 8 to 20 hours long sometimes. Well, not 20, I'm exaggerating, but it can be a freaking long time. And so the last time I really had really intensive days like this was actually back in pharmacy school. I can't remember who oh yeah, it was my old personal trainer back in the day, my old powerlifting trainer. He was the one that kind of got me into the world of nootropics and kind of introduced things like the racetams and also natural ones too, like ashwagandha and all that as well. So the last time I've ever really used them was back in pharmacy school when I needed to study a lot more. Recently, I've been actually experimenting with adaptogens, things like I mentioned, ashwagandha, rhodiola, Korean ginseng, and I just needed something to get me over this product launch, right? It's only temporary, and I need to stay focused a lot of time and keep my energy up. So that's when I decided recently, man, I need something to help me keep me a lot more focused. And that's where nootropics actually come into play. Like I said, if you don't know what nootropics are, Wikipedia defines nootropics as drugs, supplements, and other substances that may improve cognitive function, particularly executive functions and memory, creativity, motivation, things like that. If you go to Reddit forums, people will call them like smart drugs. And like I said, there's a whole Reddit forum. Actually, I found out about the whole nootropic world before the whole Reddit scene blew up. So I guess I'm kind of an OG, right? And I remember buying this huge tub of paracetam back in the day. So even when I started using them in pharmacy school and undergrad, they worked really well. They helped me stay really focused, especially when I was on academic warning. If you guys don't know, I was actually on academic warning once in pharmacy school and once during my undergrad, during my bachelor's, because I was just dicking off. And at the time too, when I was taking these things, my diet, my sleep, my fitness weren't even optimized. I wasn't regularly working out. My sleep would be all messed up. I used to fall asleep during class. I was a really bad student. And then, so I'm kind of curious to see how this stacks up 5 years later when I'm in the position to prioritize my health and I have more control over my schedule. Like these days, I wake up pretty early. I go sleep on time. I prioritize fitness and all that as well. So I'm just really kind of curious about the effects of these nootropics at least 5 years later as well. If you're curious about the exact stack I'm actually taking, I'm experimenting with the PAN stack, or PAN. I made some adjustments to the recommended dosages that I found on the forums. Being a pharmacist and stuff, you know, keep in mind, a lot of these are supplements. They're not proven to work or anything like that. everything is anecdotal, but for myself, knowing kind of the basics of pharmacotherapeutics, we're always trying to figure out that minimum effective dose. So I always like to start very low and then ramp up from there. In this stack, I'm taking pramiracetam, so 500 milligrams per day in the morning, aniracetam, 750 milligrams in the morning as well. Some people redose with the aniracetam because it has a short half-life, but honestly, I'm like I said, I'm trying to stick with the lowest dose. Nopep, which is 10 milligrams of that, so one capsule of that. And I also take a alpha GPC, which is a choline as well, because the theory is if you get headaches on some of these racetams, they're using up all your choline resources as well. So it's important. They say that it's important to dose with choline as well. If you want to learn about them, I'll leave some links below. So that is the current stack I'm on. Recently, it's only been 2 days. They say that it takes at least 1 week for you to see the results. Even within these last few days, especially on my sales calls, I just feel so much more relaxed. Sometimes on my sales calls, I would get so nervous, and I don't know why. I've been doing it for a long time. It's just like performance anxiety. I still get the jitters sometimes before things like jujitsu as well. And so it's been helping me with that. It's been helping me recall certain words, and everything starts flowing a lot more smoothly. But keep in mind, this is only day 2. Maybe I'll give you guys an update. But yeah, literally I spent $200 on them. Let's see how they go. I'll give you an update. If you guys are taking any nootropics, let me know in the comments to see if you guys have heard of any of these. Great. So what am I doing to stay fit in quarantine? I'm not gonna lie, it's been really, really, really hard to stay fit in quarantine.